everybody. I want to welcome you to today's webinar. My name is Mickey Taylor, and I am the owner of Taylor & Company Travel, where I actively work as a travel agent. I'm the author of the monthly column Working at Home in Agent at Home magazine, and am here with you today because I'm your agent ambassador with Agent Studio. I just want to make a test. Can somebody just tell me and make sure that you can hear me before I go any further? Just let me know, type in the chat that you can hear me. Okay, perfect. My goal as your ambassador is to show you how to grow your travel business utilizing the Agent Studio platform, as well as other tips and tricks that I've learned over the years that will help you work smarter, not harder, and will increase your bottom line. Today, we will be focusing on the Agent Studio integration with Travefy and showing you how to create a quote and turn it into a working itinerary. Agent Studio is the only website platform that has an integration with Travefy. And for some of you who might not be familiar, Travefy is the leading travel itinerary and quoting software on the market today that allows you to create quotes and itineraries in minutes that are professional, interactive, and can impress your clients. As we go through and start to plan an itinerary and quote, if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat box and we will answer those as we go through, and then at the end we'll do an additional question and answer session. For those of you who are on the webinar that know me, you know that I absolutely love Travefy. I have been using it for probably almost 2 years now, and I wouldn't want to plan anything in regards to travel without it. When I first started working the leisure side of the business and was told that we don't use formal quotes or we don't send out quotes, I was shocked. The next thing that shocked me was when I was actually told, oh, we use a Word template and we just keep updating it. Well, I'm a very techie person and that wasn't going to cut it for me. So I knew that there had to be a better way. I started my research and my research led me to Travefy, and I've been using it ever since. And I take part in beta testing that they do to help improve the platform, and I also, hold on one second. Let me see. I'm having trouble with translating confirmations into. Robin, yes, I will answer your question in a short while. I'm just doing the basic introduction right now as to what Travefy is, but I will definitely answer your question after we create a sample itinerary. Anyway, to get back, I take part in a lot of their beta testing and provide a lot of feedback to them to help make the platform better. I'm also good at creating outside of the box ways of utilizing the platform than what it was originally created for. And as a part of the Agent Studio family, I'm going to share with you how I maximize Travefy. When putting together a quote for your clients, time is really of the essence. Prices and availability are not guaranteed until they're booked, so you want to get the quote into your client's hands as quickly as possible and in a format that is user-friendly for your clients to access. This can be accomplished by using Travefy. And now I would like to start by, if you have Travefy and you're logged into your platform, by all means, please follow along, ask your questions, like I said, along the way. You can access, once you've logged into the back end of your Agent Studio website, you can access Travefy by clicking on the left-hand side. One thing I want to, oh, sorry, that's just a pop-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new trip. And as you saw, you can access that on the left-hand side of your screen. You want to edit your itinerary name, and we're going to just call this Cancun in August. You can call the trip whatever you want. I normally put in Actually, let's put in the name, because if you have multiple trips to the same location, you want to be able to differentiate them as easily as possible. Let's put in the trip date. We are going to say this is going to start on August 7th. The trip logo, I only normally use this section. Sorry, didn't mean to click on that. I normally only utilize this section if I'm planning a trip for a group. And what I do is I put the group logo in here so that it is branded with the group's information that you're planning the trip for. The price, I should have prefaced this also by, we're starting this, starting to create this itinerary and quote, assuming that I've done all of the research for the entire trip. Kathy, so in order, where I went was, let me go back. And actually, I'll show you where we have a couple people that are messaging that they just jumped on. So let me cancel out and just show you. This is the back end of your website. So for those of you that might not know how to access that, you scroll to the bottom of your website, your Agent Studio website. You will see mine now says Control Panel because I'm logged in. But before you log in, I believe this says Add Admin. And you'll click that and log in. If you're still having trouble, let me know. But I logged into the back end, and then if you have the professional or the elite plan with Agent Studio, you will have Travefy showing up in your control panel on the left-hand side. And then you just click Travefy, and it will automatically log you in. This is the itinerary that we already started. Okay, Kathy, can you let me know if you are logged into the back end of your Agent Studio platform? Okay, let me, Shay, if you're on, could you do me a favor? Kathy Ivers says that she's on the Elite plan and she doesn't see Agent Studio in the left-hand side. Kathy, the one aspect that might be causing that is because maybe you haven't set it up in your back end yet. Shay is, let me see. Okay, let me access. Shay, if you're on, can you also look into Robin Turson as well to see why they don't have access? Okay, while Shay looks into that, I'm going to proceed with the itinerary. Kathy and Robin, we can, if you'll follow along, we will, I can do a separate webinar or introduction for all of you after we've completed the webinar, if that's okay. We can jump back on to private for anybody that is having issues accessing their Travefy account. So once you log in, so we're back at the itinerary, and I'm going to click here and just do the name again. If you don't change the name, it'll automatically just default to your itinerary. So we're going to name this Cancun in August. Do the trip dates again, and I'm doing the trip dates correctly for this example because when we get to the inputting the flights, you will realize that it's integrated with the airlines and it will automatically pull your flight information. This trip cost, we're going to say it's $5,500. If you want to put any description in here, I usually just put what is quoted. Quote for 3 nonstop flights on Southwest to Cancun, and I can't spell, round trip airport transfers, and 5 nights in inclusive at Secrets Divine. something just brief that explains to them what is there. I also put a note. I put this in as many places as I can, that inventory is not currently being held. And prices are subject to change until booked. Okay, then you'll want to, if you scroll down at the bottom, you can see you have options for a status. This is going to be a published itinerary, because in the end, when we invite our clients to view the itinerary, we're going to want it to be published. Collaborative means that if we have that checked, that allows our clients to interact with us in the discussion portion, which you can see it's kind of grayed out right now, but it will become available. That's like an interactive text messaging platform. And then messaging and trip plans app is enabled, and that also needs to be enabled so that the discussion portion can be accessed by you and your clients. So then we're going to want to save the changes. I always change the cover photo. You don't have to, but I always do. I usually just, for basic stuff, I just go here, search their photos. You can go down through. They have a wealth of photos in here. You don't have to worry about copyright infringement. So you can pick an image. And then this is just telling you how to adjust your photo. You can also make it bigger by using this if you want to show more of the beach. You can use the slide bar to enlarge your photo. Then you'll want to save, and then you'll notice that it changed our cover photo. Now, the first thing after doing the basic stuff you want to do is you're going to be able to add in your flight information. And since I've already done the research, I know I have the flight information. So you'll click on New Event, click on Flight. One thing I want to draw your attention to is up at the top, you'll see automatically updates all quick, add an email parse flights added to an itinerary while this is checked. Okay, so this means that if a flight number changes, it will automatically update the flight info for you. So I suggest that you always leave that checked. I do let my clients know that it will update, but they should also keep an eye on whether it's through the app for the airline or just to check the website occasionally, because this is still beta, which means it isn't in full production yet. Okay, so I'm booking this client on Southwest Airlines. So you'll type in Southwest, and the flight number that we're going to be traveling on is 1134. When you click Get Info, you'll see that the flight information automatically pops up, and you can add that automatically by clicking Add to Itinerary. And then you'll see that it puts in the departure and the arrival for you automatically, which is great. If there is an occasion where if you're doing an international trip, some of the smaller airlines aren't loaded, but I've only come across, I think, 2. I'm doing a 90-day trip for a client that's like a trip around the world, and there are 2 very small airlines that didn't show up, and I had to manually add them. But this says, how does this work if you have a group with people flying in from various airports? Do you do a different quote for each airline? No, that is a great question though, Bruce. So what you can do is when you click Edit, the pencil always edits the event, and you scroll down. Let me see, before I show you this, I have to add somebody to the itinerary, and I'll show you, we'll come back to this, but once you add or invite clients to the itinerary, there will be a section in here which will ask you to make this available to all, or it will give you a drop-down list right here that you can add, tell who you want to share this itinerary with. So once we do that, I will come back and show you that information, but you can choose to, you can put all the flights in here and choose who is going to see it. That way, everybody's flight they can access the same itinerary for the general aspects of the trip, and they can see only their flights. That way they don't get confused. So remind me, but I'll remember to show you that once we invite somebody. Okay, so we've added the flights. The next thing I will do is go in and I'm going to add a transfer. So you can see when you have ground transfer, you can use rail, select rental car, or other. So I'm using an airport transfer / shuttle service, so I will check other, and it is the departure. So I'm going to just type in transfer from Cancun Airport to Secrets the Vine. Wow, I can't spell today. And our flight, allowing a little bit of time. And these you can always adjust later too. Once you've booked with the transfer company, they'll tell you, but I always put placeholders in here just to give them an idea of the flow of their trip. So we're going to say that they're going to leave at 1:15. The duration, it's only a 15-minute transfer. So put in 15 minutes and then click out and you'll see the transfer is here. So we actually gave them about an hour, which may or may not be enough time. This next step is up to you whether you want to do it, but I always like to add it because it allows your client to visualize exactly what is happening and when. And this is really important, more so for international trips, that when they're hopping from, say, a flight, then they're grabbing a train, then they're getting a transfer. You want to be able to show them when they arrive, when they leave. Cancun and your Caribbean trips are a little less important, but nonetheless, I always like to add it. And this will be arrival at Secrets the Vine. And then I'll put the time. It was a 15-minute transfer. So then we'll just put in 1:30 p.m. And now you can see that we have, we have the transfer and the arrival. And I've already done my research on the lodging. So we're going to click New Event and click Lodging. We mentioned Secrets the Vine. And you will see that there are a ton of hotels that are already loaded into the system. The only time I've ever had issues, again, not having them not show up, there's still very few, are some of the smaller like hostels and things of that nature for international trips. So let's select Secrets the Vine. You'll see it automatically pops up. We are going to put the check-in. We arrived at 1:30, so I'm going to put a 1:30 p.m. check-in. And I always explain to my clients when I put in 1:30, just so that the flow of the itinerary is there, I let them know that check-in time, I believe here is 4 p.m., that if their room is available, they can check in early. If not, they can use the facility until their room is ready. Checkout date, we are checking out on the 12th. And we are checking out, let me see, I'm going to jump ahead on my notes to see what time. We're going to check out at 2 o'clock because we have a 4:30 p.m. flight home. So we're going to put 2 p.m. The date is correct. Click Add to Itinerary. It automatically added the additional days, put in our checkout, and it put in, as I scroll down, it has check-in at Secrets the Vine. Now, for the quote, I always go back and add some additional information. So what I do, I always make sure that everything goes back to my agent studio website, which is where I book 99% of my rooms also. So what I want to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pull up the room type that we were going to have. And we're just going to use the first one for this example. And I'm going to copy all the information about the room down to including the additional information. Go over to Travefy, going to paste. Then I'm going to go back to my website. I'm going to click on Overview so that they not only have information about their hotel room, they're also going to have the information about the resort as well. And copy that. I'm on a Mac, so I just do a Command C and it copies everything. Scroll down and then paste all of that information into the itinerary. Because my idea is I don't want clients to have to go anywhere to search for anything that takes them away from my website to possibly, oh, well, I'm here, I'll just book from here. I do tidy it up a little bit. Sometimes the spacing is off. I just clean it up. And then we're going to come down here and add photos. I already have some saved on my desktop, but to get these, I will either get them from my website, and I'll grab here. And I've copied a copy, so it doesn't look that great when it's being enlarged, but it does make it for an okay photo once it's made smaller. I also can grab photos from the website, my website, utilizing the hotel rewards. Click here for gallery, and you can get some of them from here as well. So let me go back, add a couple more. I usually try to, this one doesn't pertain, but I try to pick a photo that resembles the room that they're going to stay in. And once I know the reasons why they're going, I like to try to give them photos that they can see, like, oh, I'm really into the spa, or somebody really is into working out. So I love the gym in this resort. As you can see, it does look out onto the blue water. It makes you want to work out just a little bit better. Okay. And I'm not going to put in any pricing information because I've given them a package quote. Okay, so that gives you the information on, let me show you something else down here at the bottom. I want to, when you click here, let me move the chat over. So when you click the bottom, you'll see that this is some of the information that's already loaded into Travefy for you. If you want to change the photo, you can do it the same way by clicking edit, change image. You can make that whatever you want. It gives you a map, gives you some information, hours. Each one has a little bit different information. It depends on where they pulled their information from for each of the resorts. Okay, so let's click done. I will move this out of the way. And let's go down to Saturday checkout day. Let's add a new event, which is your ground transportation. Again, it's other. It's going to be departure. And we are checking out at 2. So we are going to just put in a description, transfer from secrets. Let me see. Not familiar with Travefy, but it appears its use is primary if you are booking a trip independently, not through a tour operator. That's incorrect. You can use Travefy for every aspect, whether it's being booked through a tour operator, you're doing an FIT, whether it's a group. I use Travefy for every single trip that I do. Is there a way to add tour operator booking details to Travefy? Yes, there is a way. When we get to the end, I will explain to you how you can email, how each itinerary that you create is given an email address, and I'll show you how to email your tour operator bookings into Travefy. Michelle says my screen is frozen. Is anybody else having issues with my screen being frozen? Not frozen. Okay, so let me scroll back up. If your screen is frozen, maybe hit the refresh button. And Tanu, yes, there is a currency. There isn't a currency exchange calculation built in, but you can, if you want to put in, you can choose what currency you're currently creating the itinerary in. Most of my clients always wanted to see it in US dollar, but occasionally I do have someone that is fine with putting it in the currency that it's being booked in, because they know that even if we do an exchange today into US dollar, when it's actually booked, it could change slightly. So it just depends on the client how I do that. But they're always looking and upgrading the platform, so that is something that they could possibly integrate down the road. Okay, let me scroll back up. I think I missed a question from someone. Yes, you can add a hotel that is not already preloaded. Let me jump out of this. And if we wanted to add lodging that wasn't preloaded, when you went to search, it wouldn't come up. So all you do down here is click add lodging information manually, and then it comes up and gives you the same screen that we had to fill in. The only difference is down here it doesn't give you this option and give you the information that's currently showing up on the right hand side about the hotel. But if it's a hotel that you use often, you can click, let's say the name of it is, let me make sure it's actively clicking. Taylor and Co. Resort. Don't I wish I owned my own resort? So then you can create a custom idea or place. And then this allows you to fill in all of that additional information that was automatically loaded. Let's add this photo. You can put a link to the website. You can manually fill in all the information. And I do from time to time, if I find a hotel that's internationally that isn't in the platform, if I like it or my clients like it, I will go through if it isn't in there and add it. Put in all the information, then all you have to do is save to library, and then it will automatically show up. It'll say, yes, I want to save this. Okay, so that's how you add something manually. I'm going to delete this. Let me see. Yes, we will have a recorded version of the webinar, and prices will vary based on airport location and room category, making it difficult to quote a price since all prices will ostensibly be different. How do we cover that? Okay, if this is for your group, Bruce, we're going to do an advanced webinar that is going to specifically focus on how to maximize Travefy for groups. But I also can email you individually, and we can also set up a screen share where you and I, especially if you have a group coming up that you want to start working on, we can do that when your schedule permits. And yes, I will email you and we'll set up a time to make that happen so that you can learn how to do that before the webinar comes up. It is actually really, really good, and you're going to love it. Are resorts saved to your own Travefy library, or does Travefy have a resort library? It actually would have both. Travefy has its own resort library, but if you can create and add to your own library, just like we I just showed you how to manually add in a new resort. So you can actually create your own and have access to the Travefy library. Okay, let me jump back into Robin and I'm going to show you at the end, after I get the information into the itinerary or the quote, how to send it and invite your clients. So let's finish the transfer to Cancun Airport, and we're going to have the transfer at 2 p.m. and again it's 15 minutes, and we're going to do the arrival at the airport. Going to check other. Let me show you. I'm going to leave this on rail to show you the difference, and then I'll change it back. And then this will be arrive at Cancun Airport. I'll put in the time, 2:15. Okay, so now the difference, and it really doesn't make a ton of difference, but if you have OCD like I do, it will make a difference to you. Most of your clients probably won't even realize it, but they kind of should, because these different icons mean something. So this icon for transfer, it was set to other. Now the one below where I didn't change it to other, this is technically for the train. So it's good, especially for international. I can't stress it enough. I've been working for like 2 months now, maybe month and a half, on a 90-day trip. And when you have 90 days of travel, you want to make sure that these are all correct, because it's a huge saver. And I'll give you a run through of what that itinerary looks like. It's a huge saver to know that those are correct, and you can just pull out and scan down through all of the different days of the itinerary. So that's what that looks like. And then we're going to add our return flight. And again, it's on Southwest Airlines. And it is flight number 1135. Whoops, couldn't find it. Okay, so let's see. What did I type incorrectly? Oh, you know what? I see what I did. So I'm going to change this. This is a good example. I actually, when I did my research, I have this trip returning on the 13th. So there's a couple ways to do that. Let's add a new day. And let me go back and just show you what happens with that for a minute. And explain to you that so that you know. I'm actually glad that that happened. So when you're typing in, you know that you've done the research on a flight. There's a couple reasons why this will happen. One, the obvious reason that I had. They're returning on the 13th, and I'm trying to add this flight to the 12th. Sometimes, occasionally, there will be the same flight on numerous days, and it won't make a difference until you realize, oh, I have to change the date. But this also could mean that if your date is correct up here, and this is the date that they need to come home, and you did your research, that there's something wrong with the flight. The flight might have already been canceled, changed. So this warning will let you know that, you have to do a little bit more research on the flight. Now, because I realized my issue, you can do one of two things. We're checking out, so on a different day, so you can click and drop these into the 13th. It's that easy. So now everything's on the right date. Now we're going to add the return flight. Try this again. Flight 1135. And now there, we're flying from Cancun to Atlanta. That's correct. We're going to add it to the itinerary. And then you'll scroll down, you'll see it puts all the information about the departure and the arrival. One thing, this client, they didn't ask for any excursions, but I always like to make some suggestions. So I'm going to make a suggestion that on the 9th that I want to suggest something for them. So we're going to click on the 9th, add plans, click new event, and this is going to be an activity. And because I like everything to go back to my website, I have a white labeled Project Expedition site, and I love to work with them. So how I got there is on my website, I have a Book Now tab that I call the Booking Boutique. And if you scroll down, you'll see I have Project Expedition linked in, and we can just click and it'll open up. I've already searched through Project Expedition and know that this is the excursion I want to share with them. So I'm going to click the title, go back to Travefy, I'm gonna move this over a little bit, add in the title. I'm going to put learn more about this tour here. I'm going to come back and copy the link for the tour. And this is giving a little insight on one of our future webinars, which will be on white label sites and why it's a good idea to work with your suppliers and to add those sites to your website. Going to click the link, paste the link for that tour. And then I'm also going to go in and I'm going to come down here. I'm going to grab just some of the basic information about this. And this is probably not going to paste as well as I want, but we can adjust it. It didn't do bad. Down at the bottom with their icons. I love that they have the icons on their site, but yeah, you can see down here it gets a little bit crazy. So you'll want to adjust this. I'm not going to take our time and adjust all of this, but you'll clean it up for your clients. You can also upload again at the bottom. You can add in some photos, which I also do that as well. You can see that it didn't copy correctly because every one of these weird little figure class, that's the link to that little image. So I always take those out. That's just part of the cleanup. But now you've suggested to your clients, oh, hey, you might like this excursion. Let me scroll up to the top. I just want to get to the top and show you. Once they get this, they can click this link, and instead of it going to Project Expedition where they can, by accident, and it's happened a ton, they can going right to your website. Let me see. Okay, I thought there was a new question, but no. So it's going back to your website. So again, a great reason why you should partner up and get white label sites linked to your agent studio website. So it's taking them there, they can look, and if they think, oh yeah, I want to book, it's fine that they want to book now on their own, they can book and you're still getting commission on this sale because it's linked to your account with Project Expedition and it's also on your website. So with that being said, let's go back up here, and that is your completed, wait, now I'm getting lost in my screens. Okay, back to Safari. I'm going to close this out. Now we're back to our itinerary. Everything looks good. We made a suggestion for a tour. Now it's time to add somebody or invite your clients. Yes, you can export itineraries from Travefy into a PDF version, and you can also export them into Excel. So, and I will show you those. To invite clients, you want to invite collaborators. So let me, I'm going to click, I'm going to use my other email address for my business. Q&A, here instead. Let me, oh, there's 10. Ah, I didn't realize people were posting here. So thank you, John, for bringing that to my attention. No, this is fine. If I can. Ugh. Okay, I'm having an issue. Shay, if you're still on, is there a reason why I can't scroll up? Oh, there we go. It's my Mac, which I often have issues with. Logged on and they fixed it. Does it also have cruise preloaded? Yes, it does have cruises preloaded, which is absolutely wonderful. If you've dealt with cruises and tried to make itineraries any other way, it does make a big difference. Can I add a hotel that is not already preloaded? Yep, we discussed that one. Let's see. Trying to scroll down. Can we see the finished product? That yes, we will show you what the clients see. My Mac strikes again, trying to find my scroll bar, which I often have difficulties. Ugh. I have a good cruise coming, group cruise. I would like the group information. Okay, so if you have a group, anything group related that you want to see within the next week or two, just add your email or shoot me a message in the chat and say, hey, I want to learn the group, and I will make sure you get invited, and we can just do a one-off mini session on groups before we do the actual group webinar, so that you can have everything you need, because it will make a huge difference. Shay, I'm having an issue. There we go. Okay. Now let's see. Can itineraries or quotes be exported? Yeah, we covered that. For an extra stop, we just did the next flight number. Yes, I will go back in and show you that. Need to learn group. Okay. Let me finish up with how you send, and then we'll go back in and I'll show you how to add for multiple stops in a flight. Here I usually just put, hi, you are being invited to your quote for the trip, Taylor, Cancun in August. I also go one step further, and I will show you, I create the accounts, the free accounts for my clients, so that they don't have to fuss with signing up and making any adjustments. They have no excuse not to look at the itinerary. I pick a password. I always just say, put in their login information is your email, and I always use same password, but let's just use, and your password is ABC123. Little message, please let me know if you have trouble logging in. I always use this hashtag on everything. I end with this. Just another way to link everything together. And then I send the email out. So now what we can do, your clients will give it a second, and I'll show you the email and what they get. Somebody asked about multiple flights. So we come in here, and let's put in this Southwest flight again. Wait, I want to go on the right day. Let me go here. New event, Southwest. So we're putting in the first flight, 1135. And then if they have another, they have a layover there, even if it isn't Southwest, let's assume it's like American. All you would do is remove that, type in American for like American Airlines, put in that flight number, the get info will come up, and I'll take a stab. I don't even know, that's probably not legit. Oh, well, what do you know? It was it was an actual flight, but this is what it'll look like. Obviously, they can't make a connection when one starts in Dallas, but that's how you would add. You click add to itinerary, it will add all of the information for both of the flights, just like it did for the single flight. So let's cancel that. Let me pop into my email. And let's go down. Whoops. Let's go out of here, and inbox and see. Let's see. I don't have it yet. Okay. Well, let's give it another second to show up. I think I put it in the right email, and I think I'm on today, so I don't see it yet. Let me go back. Let me add my own. Let me add this. Let's send the email. I used this email before as one of my emails with Travefy, so maybe that might be the issue. So we'll give that a minute. If you are, let's go over here. If you have somebody, oh, why didn't it show up? Okay, let me see. I need to pick an email address. Okay, I'm going to use, let's see. I'm confused. Where did you get this collaborators on this trip link? Okay, so the collaborators are your clients. And let me move this out of the way. And once you invite them, you click Manage Collaborators. And once you invite them, their email will show up here. TGE difference between clicking collaborators versus just emailing them. Okay, let me work on that and show you that while we're waiting for the email to come in. I think it isn't coming to me because I've used both of these emails are part of my Travefy setup. So I need to pick somebody. I should have set up a fake email so I could have demonstrated that. If you click send to clients, you can choose to send a link to your clients and you can preview the link. And this is what your clients will see. They'll click the link and then this will open up. You brand it. You brand the email or brand your itineraries by once you upload your logo into your platform. It'll automatically appear. If you have a photo, all of this information is in there for you. You'll see the date. Underneath the title is the quote, the amount. There's the note that we added in the beginning, just giving them the basic description of their itinerary. The map just shows them where they're going to be traveling. So if they have multiple stops, those will be plotted as well. Then it scrolls down through. These links are active, so they're still able to go in and get the same information. You can click view, it'll pop up just like they were actually in the platform as a collaborator. And then you can scroll on down and it gives you all of the information. Clear down to the end. You also can email it. So it will send them a richly formatted email. You put in their name, their email address, and then you can give them type in a short message. When you do that, you can send yourself a copy, which I always do if I rarely send quotes out this way, but if I do, I always send it to myself just to make sure nothing happened, or if I'm in a situation where I can't access the app or I need to get to the itinerary right away, somebody needs it, I can just go back to my email and forward them the copy that was sent to me. You can also add clients' names from the spreadsheet. That's in a more advanced class, that webinar that we'll have. Then you just send it off and they'll get the email. It will be richly formatted, basically like we saw at the link. You can export it as a PDF and then attach it to an email that you customize. Let's see. Somebody says I have to leave. Will you show how to import tour operator reservations or quotes into Travefy during this webinar or a later one? I will do this at the end of this webinar, but if you, let me type in my email address, and you can, .com, you can send me your name and just say, hey, I'm the one that wanted to know how to import, and I will reach out to you and we'll set up a time that we can do a screen share and I can walk you through it. That way you don't have to go through the recorded webinar to get that information. When you're creating a PDF, you can choose what you want. Do you want everything expanded, which would give them all the details, which is normally, if you're sending it as a PDF, you're going to want your clients to have all the expanded information. Do you want the place descriptions and include attachments at the end? One thing I did skip, I want to show you how to add some attachments, such as spa menus, a resort brochure. This is what those would be if you've added in any extras. If you want those included, it will add it at the end of the PDF. Click generate the PDF. Let me see. Is there any way that we can email from Travefy straight to the client, or do we have to always make a separated document? No, when we click the email, I believe I explained that to you. You mentioned you rarely use the email itinerary. How do you send it? So I always invite my clients as collaborators, and I will pop over and show you why, because I want to be able to use the discussion feature. So I will show you that. Let's go over. I'm going to finish up the PDF. So when you click done, export PDF or download PDF, it basically gives you, let me pull this out of the way a little bit. It will give you a complete PDF, just like, basically like the email, the richly formatted email, or what they see when they click the link. And then you can save this to your computer and then attach it to an email that you send just from your email platform yourself. Calendar. You can, if you want, and I do this, I sync all my clients' trips once they're booked to my calendar. So that's what this does. It'll sync it to your calendar. You'll always get reminders, because I always need reminders and I'm never without my phone. So that's the best place for me to put it. So if you're using a platform such as Accelerator, where it doesn't really give you notifications on, say, your iPhone, you can use Travefy to set up those notifications on your phone. Now, what I wanted to do, let me get out of this, done editing. Somebody asked why I rarely use, I need to move this over and close this out, why I rarely email. And that's because I always like to use this discussion feature. So once you've invited somebody as a collaborator, they will show up here and I can leave them a message. So usually once I invite somebody as a collaborator, I also will go in here, and if it's only one person, you can put you can see I invited sales. So this would be the person's name. It would show up in here like Mary Jane. And you can click this, or if there's multiple people and you want the message to be seen by everybody or to alert everybody, you can click the everybody from the drop down. Then we can type hi, whatever message you want. Just wanted to make sure you were able to access your itinerary. Please reach out with questions. Then I'll send that. So your clients, if they've downloaded the app, they'll get a notification. If they haven't downloaded the app, they will get an email that will show up and it says, hey, you were mentioned in a comment on, and then it'll give the name of the itinerary. And it will give them an option, click the link to reply, and it will open up and bring them right into here, and then they can write back to me. I like to encourage all my clients to come in here and respond and correspond with me through the itinerary, because it keeps everything in one place. You don't have to go back and search through emails. You don't have to look through text messages, any of that stuff. Let me see. Thank you. How do you change from a quote to a book trip? Okay, that's the easiest part, because normally, now we have everything done. We've sent it to our clients and they want to say, hey, this trip is great. I want to book it. You go through your booking process, whether it was with a supplier or whether you did it as an FIT. Now all you have to do is come in here, edit the flight. We're going to put in their PNR number, and it's ABC123. That's their PNR. I come down here, I put in, let me scroll down a little bit, put in the information. I'll put seat information in here, seats 1A and 1B. I also will come down to the bottom, you can see here. And I also noticed earlier, after I mentioned about showing this to everybody, there must have been an update, because this is now available, showed up before I invited anybody to the itinerary as a collaborator. If I want everybody to see this, great. If I only want a specific person, once I click here for a group, everybody that you've invited will show up. And then you can pick who you want to see it. Let me just say, I want it to go there. Now down at the bottom, I will click attach, and I will attach their e-ticket or their flight confirmation documentation right into the itinerary. So I'm going to cancel. I mean, I can add, I'll add this. It just shows up. It'll show you down at the bottom. Also, this, I just added a photo, but you can also add additional photos by doing it the way I just did. If there's more photos that you feel you need to share with your client. Let me see, 12 people from 12 different airports. What PNR info, since all are different? Still not sure how to use this one time with various flights for various people. Bruce, we'll do a one-on-one, and I'll email you and we'll schedule that so that you can see. It'll be easier to do some examples for you and really get into that. Let me see, FYI, in case you happen to show. Okay, let's see. Does the message pop up even when you don't have Travefy open? Let me see. It was, I think, Robin, was that for the notification? If they download the free Travefy app, it will show just like your email does. It'll show a dot or a number that they have a notification. And yes, it will also send them an email, even if they do have the app. It will automatically send them an email. So they'll get that even if they don't have Travefy open. So adding them to the collaborator list, we go up to the top, manage collaborators, and then you'll set them up, you'll email them, inviting them into the itinerary. Put in whatever little message, again, so we can put, let's do, and then I'm just gonna put something in there, and we'll send off the email, and then I'll see if it, you don't have, Robin, I will look. If you're practicing on an itinerary, what you'll want to do is go to the top. let me move this over a bit. Go to the title and click the pencil and then scroll down to the bottom. And you'll want to make sure that collaborative is checked and messaging is enabled. Yes, here's my email again. And then the way to, I don't have trip. Okay, I will investigate that for you. Could you do me a favor and just drop me a message, drop me an email and let me know that you need your trip is looked into, and I'll look into that for you. Down at the bottom, earlier somebody had the question like, how do we import? Say you just have a one-off and you don't need to send a quote. Somebody just says, for whatever reason, you already have the confirmation and you just now want to make the itinerary and use Travefy. Every itinerary you create will be automatically given an email. So you just copy, I have to scroll down. I think this is overlapping, but you copy this. Okay, let me go out and go back in. That is the email that's assigned to this itinerary. Copy this. And on my Mac, again, I use Command C. Can come over here. And what I can do is this will give me a good idea to create another, say, mini webinar on how to import your confirmations. You put that'll be the, assume that this is the confirmation and all the information for, say, the flight or the trip, anything is below my signature. You're basically forwarding, the subject line can just be confirmation. And then you just send, and it will automatically upload each segment into Travefy. It will basically create your itinerary for you. Let me go, whoops, let me see if I got this. Okay, so here's what happens, Travefy mention. So when you message somebody through the platform, they'll get an email, and then it will say this, you were talked about on Travefy. And then it will show some of the message. It won't show all of it if it's a long message, but then click here to reply. It will ask you to sign in, and I don't think I have. I'll try. I don't think I have an account. Let's see. Okay, so it'll let me create it. I didn't know if it would leave me create another account because I already had one. So then it brings them right into the itinerary. And now up here you can see it's processing forwarded email confirmations. I'm going to get an error because there's nothing in there, but that's what it'll look like. And then over here on this side, I can see where, oh, now I can respond. Hi, thanks. Hit send. And this is just like a text messaging conversation. So this view is your view at what the client will see when they log in. And then if we jump back over here, now you're seeing the same exact thing. Let's see. I wanted to go and look and see if that came through, the invite should have, oh, here it is, Travefy invite. So this is what your clients, when you invite them as a collaborator, this is what they get. And then all they have to do is click here. And because I just created an account, it automatically brought me into the itinerary. But you saw when I tried to log in to put the message up, I had to create the account, or I could have clicked have an account and added the password. Let me see what other questions really quick. You mentioned you were, okay, so I did that. Can you review the messaging option? Should the agent and client both receive notifications? Yes, you both will receive notifications, and I just went over those. You as the agent will receive the same type. I wish I could do a screenshot of the app, but it works just like any other app, like your Facebook app or your email app on your phone. It shows you that a notification. Let's see. Fantastic. They communicate through comments. Yes, it is. It's that discussion tab is the best thing ever. And it takes a little bit of time to get clients used to communicating that way. But if clients email me instead of messaging me through the discussion tab, I answer their email through the tab, and then they catch on and they're like, oh, hey, this is great. And then that's how they get onto utilizing it. Okay. Anybody that doesn't show trip is at the bottom of the trip information panel, just send me an email and I will follow up on that for you. Let me see. Can past itineraries be made into templates for future clients? Yes. That's going to be a future Travefy webinar. That's a webinar in itself, but let me just show you. I'm going to pop out of this. Actually, I need to pop over. Let me close some of these and make sure I'm in as myself. Okay. I have too many of these open. Give me 1 second. This should be, no, this is the client. So let me jump back in. Whoops. Well, let me move this out of the way. So when you log in, back in, and somebody's made a comment, you will see a dot. So you know that somebody has sent you a message. You have the opportunity when you click on these to, okay, so I have an enterprise platform with with Travefy, because I have multiple people under me. So that's why I'm getting that message. You will never see that. But when you were asking about templates, you can copy an itinerary, and I do this often. Copy it, go into it. I make templates this way. And if you have other agents, why is it giving me an error? Okay, let me go back. I just logged myself out. I'm sorry. Jeez. Okay, so let's jump back in here. Let's do this. So I wanted to show you all this anyway, so now's a good time to do it. So let's copy. And I also do this and make copies. If I'm doing an FIT, I will make a copy of the itinerary. I put all the, I might be using 5 different suppliers. So I put all of that information. I will change the name and put AC in front of it for agent copy. That way I know there's information in there that only I should see. I also, let's save changes. I also, if I'm doing trips and I'm working with a supplier, I will add the supplier as a collaborator and let them have access to what I have planned. I'm doing this with the 90-day trip, which is this trip. So this is the trip around the world. And as you can see on the left-hand side, as I scroll down through, these are all flights. I look at the itineraries. This tells me that there's an activity a rental car, another activity, hotel lodging, and another activity. And when I click on that day, this is me just giving them some information about, actually, I'm sorry, this is an activity, this is information. So this is telling them they're in Iceland for 2 days. There's the rental car. I always go back through and add some information about each place they're going, especially international trips, Northern Lights. Scroll on down, you can see this is their hotel information. And then at the very end, there was another note. This was just me telling them that they're getting in late. Here's an opportunity to do a nighttime tour if they chose to do this. But I'm going to scroll down through. When I say I use Travefy for everything, I'm not lying. So this is the tour, the 90-day trip. And this itinerary is filled with every flight confirmation, every excursion confirmation, every hotel upload. They have everything at their fingertips. Like, they don't have to print out anything. It's all right here. So let's take this. Let me see. Actually, I'm still awaiting that example. Oh, this is the return flight. That one hasn't been booked yet. So let's go back here. That flight was just booked. I'm picking all the bad examples. Let's try November 11th. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it didn't. Oh, I made a copy of this, so it isn't pulling over. Okay, that's right. I forgot that I was in the copy. When you make a copy, it pulls over the basics, but it doesn't pull all of the uploads and all of the confirmations and things like that. Let me see. But what I do to make this into a template, if this was a normal trip, say I always go to Cancun and I always like those trips, the excursions, I delete the flight information and I just rename this and I'll put Cancun template secrets the vine. And then I just pull that up, make a copy of it, and then use it for the next client. I'm typing. Okay, so my email is Agent Studio is mtaylor@travelliance.com. I think it's getting like shuffled through. Let me go back to the questions. I know we're running over. I kind of figured we would. I could talk all day and show you more tips and tricks about it, which is why we're going to continue to do more webinars on the integration between Agent Studio and Travefy so that you're maximizing. Let me see. You said you create accounts and passwords for invited collaborators in advance. Can you explain how you do that? Yes, I will go. What I do is I go to Travefy. So I will go in here to I go to the website. I log out as myself, and then I create an account. No account, sign up for this, and then I'll put their information in here, their name, Jane Doe, put their email address in, and then I use that same password. Whether it's ABC123, I use it for every client because I can remember it, and then they can change their password once they log in. And that's how I do that. And then in the message, when I'm inviting them as a collaborator, I just put that in this message right here. Let me see. Did you have your website done? Yes, my website was done through Agent Studio. I like the way it looks and love to have mine have more features. Lori, email me and we can set up a time to chat about how we can upgrade your website. I love my website, and Shay and his team did a fabulous job setting it up. My website was created with the idea behind it to be an all-inclusive bubble. basically when clients come to my website, I'm trying to keep them there because we have to compete with so many other companies and the actual suppliers who not all of them, are just selling to agents anymore. So we're not only competing with other agents, we have to compete with suppliers. So if we send them to a supplier website to look at something, well, they could just book right there. So my motto for my site was, come there and I'm going to give you everything that you possibly could need. I even have affiliate sites or affiliate links where I partner with different companies for um, affiliate marketing that for things for travel, different clothing lines, suitcases, things like that. So yes, we would love to discuss with you and give you an updated website. Let's see, to email an itinerary into Travefy so that it builds it automatically, does the email have to be in HTML format? Can we email a PDF into Travefy to do the same thing? I believe, and I will find this out, but yes, you can email either format into Travefy. Do you encourage clients to book on their own on your site? I do encourage clients. I use the direct links. So let me go back to my website. Let me get out of here. Let me go. So what I do, the way I encourage people is I will go in here and I bring up like my hotels page. And this is through Agent Studio for the hotels and the cruise. And I copy this link to my page and then I put that out on social media and put a little blurb. Hey, millennials, hey, do-it-yourselfers. You can book, do your own booking right here on my website. Once you put that out there enough, clients they'll come to you and they'll start booking on their own. I love the fact, and the thing of it is, even if they don't book on their own, they're still coming to my website. So they're coming here, they can go to a Discover page. I have the destinations. This is where has the search engine where they can come in here and do research and search for any of the destinations they want. They can look up cruises. Let's go in here and pop this up. This is the cruise search tool. And then they can come back over here, which I've started marketing more, is the ability to book their own cruise. A lot of people haven't booked their own, but they can come in here, they look up the cruise that they want, and this normally when I click this, it pops up, but my laptop is a Mac and it gives me all kinds of issues. So this is my Mac issue, not an Agent Studio issue. But they'll come in here and they'll do their own research and then just message me and say, hey, we decided here's the cruise we want, and they can pull up the information. So it saves you a lot of time because there's so many options for cruises. They use this more so than when they come to me, I just come in here and I book the cruise direct on the site. Is there a recorded webinar or will there be a coming webinar covering white labels? For white labeling, we're going to do a webinar on that in the very near future. I believe that is one of the topics for July. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to show you. Since we're talking about white labeled information, let's pop over back to Book Now. And you can see the different, I have Let's Plan is Travefy. So when you click that, it links into the login for Travefy. So there's an awful lot. We're going to be doing some webinars as well on how to maximize what you can do with your Agent Studio website, because there's a ton that you can do. Believe me, I've done it all. So, and then here are the white labels. Let's see, I'm building out the cruise the cruises, because and this is still cruises. One of these tabs is going to be I have a Viking white label. I've just set up a lot more of the white labels, and we're going to be integrating this, but we're changing up the look and feel a little bit. It'll still have the same information, but we're changing up the look and feel of the website. So I'm waiting until we do that to really add everything else to it to save us some time. And then the affiliates. Let me show you how I've utilized the affiliate marketing. So I have two actually. So travel accessories. And these are all companies that I've partnered with for affiliate marketing. And if anybody's familiar, we'll go over exactly what affiliate marketing is, why you should do it, that type of thing. I also have it for weddings. For those of you who maybe just do weddings or do destination weddings in addition to everything else, I have wedding accessories here. And this is all affiliate marketing. It's a way to increase your bottom line and show that you're not only a professional agent, but you also offer the whole package. Let's see. Thank you, whoever D West is. You are very welcome. I'm looking forward to sharing more with you all in the future. A white label and an affiliate. So the difference, a white label is directly linked to your site, like the Project Expedition was. They're both kind of the same thing as an affiliate, but the white label, when you click on that, so let me click on Boku. When you click on this, it isn't branded by me anywhere. It doesn't have my name. That is what an affiliate is. But if you go back and we look at Project Expedition under Book Now, pop this back up. And I know this is a little off topic, but everybody's interested. So when I click Project Expedition, this is the white labeled site, and it looks like it's still part of my website. It has my branding at the top. It has the same tabs as my website. So that's the difference between the white label and an affiliate. Let me see. I think that I know we've run over and your time is very valuable. So anybody, I would just like to, I think I've answered, if you email the itinerary to clients, how do they get it on their phones? And it's still updates for air. So there's an app. The Travefy has a Travefy Pro app that's for us, the agents, and then their app for clients is called Trip Plans. And you give your clients the link to that app. The app is for Android and iPhones, and they can download the app, and then they have the information right on their phone. Let me see. If I have missed a question, I think I've answered all of them, but if I happen to, no, you see one here I didn't answer. Does the app work on just Wi-Fi and no internet connection? It works on Wi-Fi and it works with data. It works both. My email address with Agent Studio is mtaylor@travelliance.com. And if you have any questions, please feel free to message me. As you can tell, I could talk for another 2 hours about Travefy. And again, we're going to be doing advanced options. We're going to be doing group webinars. So there's an awful lot that you can do with the integration of Agent Studio with Travefy, and we want to make sure that I know when you start, hey, I have all these tools, but I don't really know how to use them. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to share with you all my tips and everything that is available that I've learned along the way, and help you make your life easier and increase your bottom line. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to getting some emails from all of you, and we will get, let me see. How can I do that? Judy, message me. Anybody that is still on that has questions, please message me or email me the questions, and I will follow up with all of you. And I'm looking forward to helping all of you maximize the Agent Studio Travefy integration. Thanks so much. Have a great evening, and don't forget to send me those messages so I can respond to each one of you. Thank you.